Why should people really want to watch history about things that happened 100 or 200 years ago? What relevance is it, would you say?
Well, I think it's hugely relevant. History gives you that ability to have a kind of perspective, to see where the precedents are for all of the dangerous things, for example, that we find ourselves in today. There are precedents, and yet there is, in its totality, obviously, unprecedented dangers and threats to the United States. And I think it would be incumbent upon Americans who are often blind to their history to understand exactly how their government works, what the Constitution is actually about, what it says, what the nature of our government is. We don't teach civics anymore, and a lot of the reasons we feel like we've lost a cohesion is because we've forgotten the glue that's held us together, not just in the patriotic ways, not just in the emotional ways, but in the very functional ways of how you get things done. And that's what civics is. It isn't just 100 senators and 435 representatives and 3 branches of government. It's how human beings together get things done and compromise and see that there is a shared common good. And so history becomes a way, it's a table around which I think we can all have a shared discussion of what we want and how we might continue to cohere and how we can let the better angels perhaps reassert themselves. That's what I'm about. And I think people want that. I think the divisions are huge and massive and threatening and have exposed the fragility of our institutions, indeed our democracy and our future. But I also think deep down, people, if they're made aware of the fact that they share common everything. I mean, one of the fallacies of the Holocaust is just the myth of race, of, biologically it doesn't exist. We are all the same. And I've said to you before, David, I've made films for more than almost 50 years about the US, but I've also made films about us. That is to say, the lowercase 2-letter plural pronoun. And so I'm addressing these films to everybody, regardless of their political persuasion or where they come from or their sex or their wealth or their race, whatever it might be. I want to reach everybody to remind them of the us. All of the intimacy of this, plus all the majesty, the complexity, the contradiction, and the controversy of the US. It's all there, and we don't need to say, oh, we got to limit our history and teach it only this way and teach only the good stuff. It's morning in America again. We need to actually have a rich history that pulls back the camera and reveals all the startling and at times, yes, contradictory and not so pleasant things